Hello, I'm really sorry to happen again. Like I just get going in my like little, you know, stories and my talking and my like thoughts and stuff. And I dropped again. It's like what happened before, except I'll admit the last time this happened, let me see, what can I just pop in and see if anybody's there. Um well, last time it happened, I was like drinking some wine, I was like kicking it, and I like totally like yay, Sarah. I was just going and going and going. Like, that's why I think that there's a benefit to doing like the hangouts with people because then, people kind of keep each other in line. I just gotta start looking while I'm talking a little bit more. So, yo, yo, yo. Thanks. I was looking over the comments and I saw, and like I was kind of moving ahead like a little bit, even though I was reading one above. I was like, and that's how I said like, and you're gone. I'm like, wait, no, what? So, thanks for the tip and good eye. I totally would have missed that. But it's weird. I see it short out at the end, and I kind of see where I was at that last point. I think I was pretty much there. I think I said what needed to be said, and I said what I said. I said what I said. Yeah, that was pretty much the end of things. I think 136. It's just like quiet, dead air. Well, that's good. It went for like, my shout out right there. Chat is disabled for this live stream. Oh, look, the replay. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I just wanted to come back and apologize. You want to stream with others? I think so. I was listening to Pillier earlier, and I didn't go. He dropped the links. He drops the link directly in his stream, and I was like, oh, it'll be fun. But I already set the time to come talk about this, and I just did it once. And I'm thinking I'm looking for some people maybe to start doing that with. Is that something that if you think would be beneficial? I think, I have a lot to say and I can get a little too like, I noticed Sunday was like it was good to talk to someone and other people because it kind of kept me like on a more straight and narrow, and you're a lot more conscious than when you can just kind of like be in your little room by yourself and just go on and on. So yeah, that's something I'm interested in. I'm thinking about trying out maybe when I get back is dropping the hangout link in the chat and seeing if anybody wants to buy it and wants to just kind of get in and talk together. And I'll probably just go for a little bit, we'll go back and forth, and then maybe I want to pull a few topics, spend a little time. Like I like the way Luke Ford kind of does it right now. Like there's a few people now who kind of stay throughout the whole chat with him, and then there's people who kind of come in, they chat for a bit, they go. So yeah, that's something I'm interested in, Sarah. And I think I'm gonna think a little bit more about it and maybe try that on for size when I get back. Yeah. Yeah, because actually, I left the link. I don't remember who I all did it for, and I still have some comments to go look through and see what came up. Because I mentioned that to like more, like in the more kind of Black women circles here. It's one thing I think would be really cool. And I'm just throwing out the names of people I just interact with, right? Videos I watch the most: Lady Quiet Storm, Virgo Sun, Annex, Miss Archduchess. Just people whose channels I really like and what they do. I can see like, it becoming something like, we just hop on a hangout and just chat for a bit. It doesn't be like 80 gajillion hours. It doesn't be just a 2 minute like hi bye. But I think it would be kind of cool maybe in this kind of, 3.0 version of everything, the waves that have been happening here online amongst us, to like just really start talking with each other and just, hanging out. We can talk about like recipes for a second, or clothing. We can talk about the race thing, the gender thing, the Black thing, the this thing, just like a sharing of voices and just hearing other grown women speak, if you will. So yeah, I'm back. Thanks again to Sarah for catching. I was reading through you guys' comments previously, and the thing is, it won't play them back. I think you have to have a certain amount of people or enough of a. Well, no, it'll play back at some point. Well, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Or maybe it takes a second to come. It has to replay because I watched it do it before, or I could be wrong, but Anyway, so yeah, as the title implies, it's a quick apology and a proper closing. Um, it was fun to thank you both, Sarah and Email, for you know engaging me and supporting the channel and sharing your thoughts. Again, I'm sorry because I thought I could just go back into some of the stream comments, but I'm almost wondering if it takes just time for it to populate. So I can swear I've been able to relook through them, but I could be mistaken. Maybe it's just mobile or something. I don't know. But I'm gonna go. Got one more task or two to squeeze in before bed tonight. Still got to get ready to hit it. So, how this one quick poll question, if either of you would like to answer. Is there anything that I could cover tomorrow? Thinking tomorrow's Thursday, and then we have Friday. So I think I'm gonna try at least. Well, maybe I'll come back and I'll do another blog I like. Oh, Savage Hippie has a new episode. I think maybe I'll do a video about them finally. Maybe find some of my favorite clips or whatever and talk about them. That's what I should try to. Well, they just the three of them usually just stream and podcast together, but blah blah. Anything I can maybe put up for consideration tomorrow or Friday? Tell us more about my closet. It's a cool closet. I think about maybe getting one of them cameras where I can show y'all stuff that I'm doing. You can see things. It's a cool closet. It's really messy. Well, not super. I mean, it's enough for me to sit in a chair with a little mini table. It's a pretty rad closet. Love for you ladies to find things about the Jim Crow era. Really? Do you mean maybe kind of a found stories, people talking about their experiences or some events that happened then? There's a story. I'm really remembering this very spottily right now as you say that. What am I thinking? Jim Crow era. I'm just gonna make a note of Jim Crow era, and I can kind of think about that tomorrow at work and kind of riff off of it. Seriously, you hear this? I'm really writing that down now. Jim Crow era. Everyone pretends it was so grow, but gut feeling is it was still just a mess. Oh, since it was so good. Do you mean as it's kind of presented by maybe whites, particularly maybe the more alt-right, what have you seen, or do you think some black people presented as good? Restriction on black people make them behave better. Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that because I think that was it's again the live stream where there's 20, 30 people. It's hard to make a certain point, but I was kind of, if I could have taken my conversation with Metaphysics. I keep slurring this. I step on my own words, Metaphysically Lux in the Luke 4 stream tonight. That was kind of what I would have liked to circle back to is well, a lot of these more fathers were in the home in the 60s because you were still, even if not legally, there were still a lot more of the social, cultural restrictions that black people faced and lived under that meant that black families had to kind of stay together as, shitty as some of those situations inside kind of could be and were. What's funny? I have to go back and cite this to revisit the play Fences by August Wilson, the black playwright. I was actually in the piano lesson in high school. That's another one who's probably the much more notable play, but Fences is probably maybe the most notable one. The piano lesson is maybe second or third. Anyway, someone was writing about it recently. I don't remember where, but it came up that the main character, because they made a film version of it with Denzel Washington and Viola Davis, and he has a son, but the son is from another woman, and then they have a family together, and they're kind of the center of it. And I don't think I read Fences in high school, but I was always just loosely familiar with it. And no, in theater in college, we covered an excerpt of it or two, or we did some stage play for class, and we did some of Fences, but I've never really done the full play. But I was it took me aback because it takes place in the 50s or 60s, and I guess the story underlying is that the black father works a kind of grunting job, but his son from the other woman across town, he's a jazz musician. He don't want to go work for the man, blah, blah, blah. And I just found it really funny. That's one of the stories that's not really told a lot. Even some parts of, well, even Raising in the Sun, I've been in that play, and I've read it in full maybe at least twice in my whole life, but this is like already in high school and middle school. Anyway, let me stop looking. See, then I start talking, I'm like looking around, I'm like, yeah, man. And then I like look up and I'm gone again. Then they have the KKK enforcing this mess to make black people behave. And right now, that's what's going on is that the black men are painting this picture. Everything was fine during Jim Crow. The LBJ welfare hit. Women got married to the government and all hell broke loose, and it's the woman's fault. Yes, thank you. In a nutshell. And see, the thing is, like, it's not about, because I was getting, I think, a little uneasy sometimes. Like, I don't want, because I'm always afraid someone to say, oh, you're just a black woman. Of course you want to, like, you know, shirk these things. It was like, like I was almost getting to this that down in that Luke Forest stream tonight with a guy. Like, do you really think that I personally could have like not would have liked to maybe had a father or a black family intact or whatever thing? Like Issa Rae in the discussion, I was watching some bitter black male Bobby cry about her comments this week, and they did really kind of went in depth. Like, she's for her father's Senegalese and her mother's Black American, and they were married. She grew up in a pretty upper middle class existence, and so the father was in the home, but then nobody tells you like that there's other things besides them being in the home. I have this theorem I want to put out to a lot of these people, and they say this. So if the black man to be in the home, what if he's like in a coma? His heart beats, his brain activity still works. He's in the home. So you're telling me if I take a black man that's in a vegetative state and just position him in like a reclining chair or prop him up like taxidermy style on a couch or something, he's in the home. So these little black boys will stop shooting each other and killing each other, but because he's in the home, right? So no one ever takes this to the next logical conclusion and asks a more thorough set of questions. And I even and he had to kind of give up. I mean, it wasn't like an argument. I'm not trying to shade this guy. But again, I see this is part of the reason that, like, besides connecting with and having discussions with other black women and the circles that emerge here, a big push of what I want to do is like bring these like counterpoints and more nuanced discussions of these subjects to a more white alt-right, white nationalist, dissident right scene, because they say these same things, and because of where they are and where I'm more in line with them on a lot more things, if they could just understand this just the way you outlined the email a lot closer, we all could really be getting someplace different. If you're just gonna be an alt-right and regurgitate, let a black man tell you it's white supremacy, you're gonna basically say, get the fuck out my face, nigger, like with that bullshit. But then those same black men will come up and just tell them this, say, well, we all just at the stroke of midnight, December 31st, 1964, we all just like kick them out the home for $300 a month and some government cheese. And the thing is the thing again, this is where, if you want to, I'm just trying to like take all these parties involved, black men, black women, white women, just take the argument to the next level. What is it about you men, black men, in any collective sense in 1965 or whatever the hell year we're using that decade, that makes you so fucking worthless that a woman would rather go to bed cold and alone with 3 or 4 kids running around driving her crazy, probably, for like eating government cheese? Well, are you that worthless and unnecessary that that's a better alternative? I'd rather sit up here, eat some government cheese and saltine crackers, laying around in Cabrini Green. So that says more about you, what you think you have to offer, than says about black women in the collective sense, if you take the question to its next logical conclusion. But then again, at the heart of this is black women's fault, because our mothers and grandmothers and aunties have let this whole thing snowball because they won't tell their own stories. They won't be honest with themselves. They won't be honest with their daughters or other black women amongst them, because a lot of it is hating other black women. It's being married to just being a mammy mule handmaiden for the next 1,000 years. And I think there's just maybe a few of us who don't want that, but I don't know. It came up in this Miss Archduchess stream yesterday. Like, we gotta find a way to reach the hood chicks. The women who are like kind of on ground zero in your Baltimore's or Detroit's or Chicago's. Like, I had a thought once, like, if we could just like go around with flyers to some of these channels. I mean, a lot of them are gone now, which just makes it harder, but like just give them some like leaflets and I don't know, something, so they can see what the hell is going on. Because you can get them to stop it, TM. You get them to stop it, we'll get this whole problem shaped up. We don't have to gas the blacks race war now, like dude just tried to suggest over in the Pill Eater stream. Like we might not have to go this far, but it just takes people being honest, and particularly the alt-right, dissident right in particular, it takes you not regurgitating black male talking points that have no basis in reality, if that same black male, particularly, or a black person in general, will come at you and call out white supremacy, you'll go grab every Jared Taylor color crime stat study to dispute that, but then y'all be the same ones, black women just feminists and wicks and hair weaves. And I'd be like, bruh, white bruh, really? Really? But again, at the heart of this is black woman's collective responsibility and culpability for the fact that she's let her story be told by everybody but herself. And even to save her own neck and her own hide, if she ain't gonna be honest about her womb and the faulty product it's producing and be honest with herself, then nothing is ever going to change. So I can't get like, like the whole Muhammad Ali, what does he say but during Vietnam? No Viet Cong ever called me a nigger. No alt-writer, white nationalist, dissident writer ever called me a BT 1000 nappy-headed hoe. But a part of the problem here is like, there's just been too much of an absorption in the sense, again, like I think I said it earlier, when we say black community, black people, we're really just saying code word black men. Black women and girls are just here, they're just there, they're just floating in the ether. So, yeah, we took a white feminism. Yeah, see, so again, the net worth of $5, $300 check, living in Cabrini Green, Sarah. So you telling me she was reading Gloria Steinem magazine? We just walk around with all these babies on our hips, like, reading Gloria Steinem magazines, hanging out. Like, it's the big problem. They keep trying to extrapolate the actions of certain people in certain places and spaces out to like every single individual's actions. That's populations of thousands of people, and you can't do that. But then but when it comes to them, and then like somebody on Fox News, probably pre-Trump era will say something a little bit like, well, don't be a thug or certain hoodies or something. They're saying that about black men. We're all violent thugs. I'm just gonna cry, but they'll turn around and do the same shit to us. It's like, the email you were saying in the last stream comments, like sometimes I feel like I live in a madhouse. Like in my head, sometimes I'm like, this can't all be happening. And I have this clarity. I feel like a lot of times, even though I meander, I think a lot of times I'm still just moving through like all these different avenues of this shit. And you're just like, man, I can't believe we live in this like dystopic bullshit world with this stuff like that. This is actually what I'm having to try to fight against. And I have to like fight against other black women and their nonsense. It's like the Sinji, Chrissy, handmaiden, radical hobo chicks. These black women who float around regurgitating this nonsense. They're all about white supremacy, but they won't look at the spook at the door. And then I have to go over here and tell various types of mostly white men, particularly when they're living in a race that's exhibiting like the negative tail end of a lot of third wave feminism, a lot of the like social Marxist cultural denigration that that they more often not as white, if you're a white male Christian hetero, they're getting it, and they're seeing parallels with like, oh, the black men don't have fathers in the home, and then white people started divorcing in the 70s, and then they're trying to draw this like commonality that you can make certain inferences into. But if you believe that races are different, like I left one of my last statements to him was, what a black race is real, and a black father is not a white father, he's not an Asian father or a Hispanic father. We're dealing with other racial different factors, and it's like 9 times out of 10 in one day race is real. But then these 1 or 2 instances, they just want to keep saying, well, black fathers in the home, young black boys need role models. They're not in the home, they don't want to be in the home. Like it just became this song everyone sings, but no one just asked the next logical question, like, why are they not there? Like, do we have to like put ankle braces on and get them in the home? I had this really crazy theory, like, we can get them in the home, but why don't we bring back Jim Crow and sundown laws? If you want black fathers in the home, oh, I got a way to get their asses back in the home. We're going to go take this 1965 Civil Great Society, Civil Rights Act. We're going to tear all that shit up. We're going to go back to sundown laws and Jim Crow. And you best believe they're going to be in the home. You know why? Because white Mr. Charlie ain't having it. We will all be up in the home between the hours of 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Black men won't be nowhere but in the home. You want to be in the home? I got a plan for that, boo. We can get you back in the home. So, like, I can maybe go tell my, like, white ethno-state alt-writers, how about this, boo? I got a plan for all of us that's going to fix it for everybody involved. Let's bring the sundown laws and the Jim Crow back right up in this piece. You want to be in the home? We going to have your ass in the home. You going to have an ankle bracelet on. You be cross town. Then you're going to have a job too there. Your job will have to accommodate. You only can work and be out in public between the hours of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. You will be in the home. And we can stop having this goddamn circle jerk of a discussion. You can stop calling me the worst to its children. No files in the home. I got you, boo. You're going to be in the home. We'll bring back sundown laws. for everybody black, and you'll be in the home. Then we'll be done. Did I not just solve this whole problem? Did I not just solve this whole discussion? You see? Bring back sundown laws, a little bit of Jim Crow sprinkled in it. They'll be in the home. They can get off of YouTube. They can get out of my hair weave. They can get out of my braids. They can get out of my bed winching. You can get out of all my business because you will be in the home, and then everything will be magic and roses. They'll stop killing each other because you keep telling me. And I have to go have white alt-righters come try to tell me some of this shit too. And that's what really gets under my skin because they're just regurgitating the same thing. But I'm like, oh, hey, this actually serves you better. You want them in the home? I think, all the discussions about the ethno state, you might not even know there should still be white ethno states. And there should be groups for all people who want to like separate amongst whatever type of lines they want to balkanize amongst. So I got the plan right there for y'all, boo. We just solved it. Girl, they gonna fight you. Mm-hmm. Hey, no, they're gonna miss the exotic. Thank you. You see, because in even Babylonian Hebrew, like, oh, well, black nationalism. And I said, like, boo, like, the key thing is a lot of this Marcus Garvey, back to Africa, Pan-Africa goofy. This is mostly black people when the white man's code of law meant something and they had to stay in line. And yeah, you had the people talking about going back to Africa, Marcus Garvey and stuff like that. But yeah, how they gonna get their Kardashian girls? Whoa. Yeah, like they don't want no black nationalism. So I keep having to run to alt-righter types telling me this. And it's like, the Sin G types is probably the only, I think the only time you're going to get some black nationalism is these black women sitting here, Hobo Goddess and Sin G and them running their mouth about white supremacy and when the brother's going to come home and lead us. That's the only time I think I'm ever see some black nationalism actually happen. It's going to be led by black women. And then we're going to be masculine and trying to like, emasculate them and blah blah blah. That's kind of half reason I wish some hoes would sit down because I'm like, you just doing what they keep saying you're doing. They say we emasculate them. They say that they feel like we too manly and this, that, and the third. Sit the hell down someplace. It's like damn if you do, damn if you don't. But yeah. They gonna be bad, girl. They gonna fight you. Yeah, the law's gonna be pitchfork. Mm-hmm. You can't take us away from our Beckys, Ming Lees, and Marias. What? No, I thought y'all said though, but you just said no. Did you just say though? That's why y'all can't stop shooting and killing each other because ain't no fathers in the home. I have a plan to put the fathers in the home. And I'll make this even better because we got to make sure everybody's covered. So even like for let's say you got, 2 or 3 kids, two are by one guy, one's by another. This guy out here is a black man. He may not even have any kids. Now think about it. You remember the New York Times article a few months ago now. The key thing that they said, and they gave up the whole lie that everybody here, from these random black men to random alt-right white nationalist dudes, I gotta have come in my face about this. They basically said in this article, you know what? Let me find it. Because actually, I still got the physical paper copy. I'm gonna read this because here we go. We done just come right back full circle to this baby. Here. You hear the paper? I got it right here. Where is it? That's 4. Range neighborhood and status, low incarceration rates. Where do they say the census tract specifically? That's the key one. Let me just, this is the little note. The few neighborhoods that met this standard were in areas that show less discrimination in surveys and tests of racial bias. They mostly had low poverty rates. And intriguingly, these pockets, including parts of the Maryland suburbs of Washington and sectors of Queens and the Bronx, were the places where many lower income black children have fathers in the home. Poor black boys did well in such places, whether their own fathers were present or not. So that's the first half. Let me see if I can find it. Because they basically say within a given census tract. Where the hell is it? Because I was like blown away. I'm like, let me just read my little side notes right here. I'm literally going to be going in a second, but I'm glad we brought this up again. Black boys differently, problem, no such neighborhoods. Damn it, where the hell is it? I was just like, whoo, ooh, here's white people. Nope, that's not it. Maybe it was the Brookings Institute one. I don't remember who had the other one. Single day. 10 millionaires. At the same time, boys been more attention. There it is. Okay. So we'll get it in full here. Here's the other paragraph. At the same time, boys benefit more than girls from adult attention and resources, as do low income and non white children, a variety of studies have found. Mentors who aren't children's parents, but who share those children's gender and race, serve a particularly important role for Black children, Ms. Hurd has found. That helps explain why the presence of Black fathers in a neighborhood, even if not in a child's home, appears to make a difference. So that blows the whole thing. They gotta be in the home. They need a role model in the home. You know what? I'm gonna have to show up. I'll definitely keep an eye out for the next 4 stream and see if he's in metaphysically is in there. So I'm gonna go pull that link and like, boo, go read that. Now you come tell me that just tells me everything that y'all just keep running your mouths to me about ain't the truth. But I say like there's no truth, no, it's just observations, your studies. I'm not gonna sit here and blow the New York Times just because it says something that kind of correlates something like I'm not trying to exhibit a confirmation bias here. But that blew my mind because I thought they were gonna come back, oh, we need to the Brookings story told us we need to help Black fathers so they can help their poor Black families. But I'm just thinking, why are we producing more poor Black people? Shouldn't they be getting vasectomies? And shouldn't some of these sisters be getting their tubes tied or get some Depo in their arm so we don't have to have no poor Black families? But that's so they don't need to be in the home. This New York Times study that Ross Chetty, who's been doing this whole inequality justice studying Negroes and they Negro shit for like years, just told me that everything you've been running your mouth to me about, we kicked you out the home for wicked welfare. But this is telling me it don't matter if you in the home or not. If you just live nearby and you don't even have to be the kid's father, they shouldn't be shooting each other. They should be killing each other. All these negative stats need to happen. So somebody is lying here, or someone or both sides need to make an adjustment. Anyway, didn't want to go off too much on that, but that just came into my head. So I'm like, come on. Like they just gave it a lie. They don't need to be in the home. They need to just be in the given census tract. So maybe we'll have like little pods, like, little phone booths, like Doctor Who style, where like, they all can kind of live in and be in, we need them. We got enough in every census tract. So the boys stop shooting and killing each other. They'll have a role model, because role model don't have to live in the home. They don't necessarily need to be at home. They just need to be there. Again, I think most of this, the methodology they're using this whole article is bullshit. And again, it's just funny to watch all of a sudden out of all this like hand wringing about what we're going to do about these Black people and this stuff. They just give up the lie that we've been fed the past 10 years by all these like goofy ass Black men online in particular. You don't need to be in the home, but if you want to, we can get the sundown laws back. And I'm A-okay with that. Hell, you know what? I'll go talk to the alt-right over here, talk to white ethno-staters. I got a plan that's going to help everybody out. And especially for me, Black women, I'll get all y'all out of my hair. Sheriff David Clarke, how about him? He got a white wife. I'll even tell you this. We gonna get these laws back, and then you need Black men in the home. Sheriff David Clarke can move in with me. How about that? I'll sacrifice myself on the altar of this argument. Hey, I'm Black. I'm a Black American woman too. I'm about to I'll ride this train in that direction too. I'm not just sitting here throwing this out there. I'll be a part of the change. I'll, like Gandhi, be the change you want to see in the world. So there you go. I'll move in with a Black man. He'll be a Black man in the home, and we'll be all right, won't we? It'll be sunshines and lollipops. I got a plan to get these Black fathers in the home. Like the kid was like, I don't know why I get so like when she had that really great piece, I agree with you. And she's like, I don't know, I keep getting such pushback for the brothers. Like I just don't understand. Yeah, you can't really argue with this. It's like I'm just dropping a classic masterpiece, David Carroll style over here, boo. We want to be in the home, baby. I got it. We got a plan. I figured it out. I think everyone will be satisfied. We don't have to play, in the words of like the kind of white nationalists, we ain't got to play. We could probably avoid playing roots backwards with my solution. And I think it'd be great for all of us. So let me see what y'all two chatting about. And then maybe some lurkers, like, see what y'all saying. Sarah Mary. You don't marry women. Thank you. Oh no, they married Becky's divorce rate just as high. and it's just, and that's another thing. That's the craziest thing about this whole situation we all find ourselves in. If they were marrying these women and all these other non-Black women, and there were all these great neighborhoods that were built by them, not just them moving, just like something the white men already built, and then shuffling off with their non-Black spouses. and they were living these great lives, and there weren't the murder rates, there weren't the abuse rates, weren't the divorce rates, then you could plausibly turn right back around to black women and point your finger at her. And alternately, if black women were, like I did that video on the movie Jungle Fever, that scene where the one woman was like, I'm not a rainbow fucking type like you. If black women were having like all these 8 babies on their hips with a baby by Patel, a baby by Jose, a baby by Muhammad, a baby by Tyler, then we could say some. A majority of black women are having children with black men and having sex with black men. So it's all coming from basically one direction. Then we could turn around and say all this stuff, but then they go over to these other women, they ain't really doing that much better anyway. And it's just really, it's like all these, I feel like we're living the end of, like, I guess, like what they kept saying with the Trump era, like all these alternative facts it's the end of truth. We're just kind of hitting a point where the rubber's starting to meet the road. There's only so many things we all can keep collectively lying about, whether you're white, whether you're black, whether you're a man or a woman. And some of these things now, it just seems ludicrous that these things have persisted so long. These truisms that have evolved in terms of how we talk. So, 85 degrees, whoop, whoop. Birth control, yep, baby, birth control everywhere. Because Kendall said when she started her platform, it didn't come out just to attack and bash the brothers. It came out of a discussion that after that Melissa Harris Perry thing where that black woman was on, she had like 4 kids and was pregnant with the 5th one. And like, well, my babies aren't the result of poor choices. And this whole discussion amongst black women about why we don't take birth control, why we like to have oops babies, why we do a lot of things. And so the funny thing is, like, the comments that were kind of airing in that direction tonight and other places is that have been absorbed by other parties without any type of contextualization or anything. Is that, well, black women with welfare and Uncle Sam, and they just having these babies just because. And there's so this is just a bygone thing. And the problem is, your comment, Sarah, is absolutely spot on. But since we know for so many reasons why black women won't take that kind of ownership, they won't take that protectionism of their womb, because they're using their womb to do a lot of other things that it should not be. They're giving babies immortality to men who don't deserve it. And they're also just doing it because they're women, and then they want it's like the kind of ragdoll unconditional love kind of problem. I think that's a big part of this too. And since a lot of this, black women won't tell the truth, they'll go talk about white supremacy. They'll go talk about, somebody's great-great-grandfather was raped by a white plantation owner, everything but their current situation and the experiences they live in with themselves, with other black women and black men amongst them. So yes, birth control in some type of targeted way. Even when they started, they've already suggested loosely more underground. Like, yep, well, they should start tying, getting depot to welfare benefits, or if you want to like get a Section 8 voucher, or even a private sense, like, hey, you're a young black girl between the ages of like 12 to like 20. How about I give you like $5,000 or something? We start like a little maybe travel circle, send them to go visit overseas, and maybe it's like a kind of a weird kind of Girl Scouts version. They get together, team build, learn how to build a campfire. They're being paid, watered, and poured into in those years to not just have some oops baby. They're given something to do. A lot of black women like just have kids and babies too often than not in other parties. I mean, there's 1,000 reasons. One is that they don't have anything else to really look forward to or do. And it's something, they don't expect a lot much from their general race and their general community. And so so that's why I think, even personally, when I've argued these points, it kind of hurts, because it's literally just black women we're not women. We just spitting these babies out for like some Cheetos on an EBT card. Like, that's how it's. So it's one thing for me to think some white supremacist, racist, or alt-righter to say that, and that can feel some kind of way, but I understand. But to have my racial male counterpart and my father's brothers, uncles, nephews either saying that to me or silently sitting there co-signing it, that's what hurts. That's the problem, and that's the root of this, that they feel that they can say this and then everyone else is absorbed. Oh, that must be true. So, man, it's one crazy baby tangent right there. Remember KSC said this, LOL, where's the neighborhoods with their non-black women? Thank you. They just moved to, like, it's weird because like most cities now have like the kind of like this inner cities that are mostly non-black, non-white, and mostly black people. And then they have like the white suburban kind of collar communities that they're nice. Like, average houses maybe somewhere from 50 to 100K. And then outside that and above, you get like solid, like white, nice suburbs. So most of the time, all these brothers can do is move their non-black women out to like the mid-collar communities. And then and it's like even when they're doing well, like they're not, where are the neighborhoods that they built for themselves? Like, it's so weird. Like, go build, produce, and provide, protect for them. It'd be just great to, because then you could very plausibly turn your finger back, because there are some things definitely about Black women in too many collective sense that we need to address, not just for the brothers, more for ourselves than anybody else. But there are some valid points and criticism that they have. But again, I just see you moving to some neighborhood the white men already built. So you're just taking your non-Black women over to another man's patriarchy still, and just living there, and then calling it going somewhere. And I think I told before the anecdote, like my buddy was trying not to say it because she really didn't want to, like, my white buddy didn't want to come down on the brothers. She's like, well, her friend has a child with a Black man, and I don't think they were ever married. No, they were married for a little bit, and then the kid's like maybe 2, and like there's a couple financial things, a whole lot of stuff. She just basically told me, like, the girl said, he just thinks like it's okay him to just show up every few months, and he'll like come and bring her, like, he bought her like mini baby Jordans. Like, this girl's like, the kid's like 3 probably now, but like she was like a year and a half, 2 years old, and she was just kind of like, and I'm like, and I started laughing because like, so they're not in the home, but then this is the other part of it where it's such a fallacy, it's such so problematic. I didn't know meet mine until I was like 27 a few years ago. But more often than not, these men know who these children are, and a good chunk of these Black boys and girls know who their father and whatever relationship is. They see him maybe once a year, maybe twice a year. Maybe the kid lives with their mom across the country, and they go spend the summers with the father and his family. I mean, there's a lot of different makeup. So when you say they're not in the home, that has so little contextualization to the discussion. And then beyond that, it gets extrapolated to this insane, like, well, the father's not in the home, so now they're all shooting heroin and shooting each other in the south side of Chicago because these Black BT 1000 bastard baby makers. So, and so again, I just feel like I'm boxed into this conversation. Like, it's like I have to, it's not digging a hole. It feels like digging a hole, but there's a bottom, and we'll get to like solving or just unpacking this. But anyway, I said it was just going to be a short little, let me say a proper goodbye. And it's going to have to be, what I think I'll do is I'll just kind of like, see, it said exactly 37 minutes ago. It's 2:27 for me right now, 73 minutes. So I think I'll just let you guys chat for a second. I'll just do some putting of things in the morning. But nobody will be around. But I can just record videos in the morning. Anyway, let you guys chat for a second. I don't know where I'm going with that. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, 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 mm. I mean, it's so late. Maybe I should just take a shower right now, so I don't have to shower in like 3 hours. I should put up a poll. Should I take a shower now to save 20 minutes, 4 hours from now? The people want to know. Rap. You're dealing with crazy people. There's probably no solving this. Yeah. Well, you see, that's the hardest part about this at all. Completely email, because even maybe Sarah might want to chime in on this. Like, we're both like Black women. We are stuck carrying. There's Peter Sotos is a writer, and one of the reviews of his book Tool, one of the persons that, like, the little like taglines that people review the book with, and that's printed like on the jacket or inside. It was this really cool thing. I was like, I want someone to say it about me. Like, it was just basically ... Peter Sotos carries stigma like a rat carries plague. And I was like, man, it's such a very like biting, descriptive way to describe someone and their work. You know, I'm gonna write it out just for. Oops, plague. So, and that's the situation I feel personally in an identity sense as a Black woman boxed into. That this is the stigma of all these discussions, all these assumptions, these stats, these this that that surround Black women, that we're just kind of stuck in that. So like it's like debating with crazy people, but it's almost like being in one of those situations where like a fight or flight thing kicks in. Like I have to fight because I'm directly tied to like this whole story, even just by proxy of just having the checking the race and gender box of the person of discussion here. But anyway. Oh, you guys want to mute the discussion? I'll let you guys have that. I just do. I'm gonna send a leader stream. I'm gonna say good night. I see you guys here in a second, and God forbid the thing doesn't cut off on its own. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna let this run. Ooh. Check a few tweets and just because like I've seen people do that now. Like they'll just let the stream go for a bit so folks can like kind of chat and wrap up their comments and hang out for a second. So I think I'll just do that and let you guys chat. I'm gonna go have a cigarette and then I'm gonna come back and turn this off and then I'll be back tomorrow. So you guys can chat and have at it until I come back and hit end after my smoke break. So this has been real. Thanks for coming back to say to my little apology for the cutoff fitness earlier. I was disappointed in myself. I'm like, no, where did I go? I had no idea. I had this professor like from New York. He used to say like idea. Like it wasn't idea, it was idea. I always thought that was really funny. I have no idea. Yeah, random. Are you guys kind of signing off already? Okay, cool. Well, then I'll just close it here and hopefully, I have a note, Jim Crow era. I will see what I can do about that tomorrow. So, night to both of you and anyone else lurking, listening. Please like, share, subscribe. Hit the like button. Talk to you guys later.